The good, the bad, and the ugly. You know, yeah, many of us actually, we watched that movie back in the days. It's one movie that actually one can watch over and over again. So the man who actually scored the sick tune for that, the background music for that film, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Ennio Morricone, he actually just died. May so rest in peace. Maybe I should take time to go and watch that movie again just to relieve the memory. All right, today we are going to be talking how to stay safe online. With the recent FBI raid on the guy called Ramo Olorunwa Abbas, otherwise called Hush Puppy, or the other one, another guy, Olalekan Jacob Bonle, also, well, he also has his own nickname, and our own various famous guy who actually made the Forbes list. I'm talking about Invictus Obi. These guys were actually been targeted by the FBI for a long time for many of the financial crimes, financial fraud and everything, and now they have actually been running up. And there are so many other Nigerian scammers around the world who actually the FBI and other security agencies, including our own EFCC, are actually looking out for. We just hope that, well, some people have said that the activities of these guys have actually given us a bad name, giving Nigerians a bad name abroad. You can imagine the life that Hush Puppy will live with all the monies that he scammed. And guess what? There is this one, there's a serial club that we actually heard that Hush Puppy actually duped a serial club, a football club, and also he had the plans of actually doing same for a premier club and, well, premiership club. Anyhow, well, thank God this guy have run it up. We all have to stay safe in our own various ways. We've had some of these cyber criminals trying to invade in our privacy, even as we live online. Life today, we know it's online, and it's going to be very, well, you have to be very careful. And talking about being careful, as we start to do all we do online, I have two cybersecurity experts with me in the studio who together would be talking about this. So, guys, let me first introduce Innocent. Innocent Korea is a cybersecurity expert, and he has so many other certifications to his credit. Innocent, thank you very much for coming around.
Thank you for having me, Tracy.
All right, thank you very much, Innocent. And also the guy in blue is Murtala Abdullahi, also another cybersecurity professional. Welcome, Abdullahi.
Thank you for having me.
Have any of you been, okay, have you been scammed before? It couldn't have been now.
Well, I've not been scammed.
Yes, because if you have been scammed, then we'll just end this show because there's no point. I'm serious. You know, but you've received some of these fraudulent messages and all that stuff.
Sure.
Okay, good. And looking at these guys I just mentioned, the Hush Puppies, the Invictus, these big-time criminals, and their arrest and everything. How really do these guys operate? I've had so many questions. I've had people who've actually even asked questions. What runs through their mind? What gives them the boldness to do what they do? I mean, it takes balls to do this. You guys, you've entered them, you can reason like this guy. You've entered into the minds of these guys by virtue of your training. So take us a peep into why they do what they do and what gives them the boldness to go that far.
Well, if I might take it from you, you're asking what's the motive. I think the first is the motive, then the next thing that they understand is human psychology. I mean, it's simple. It's like what all of us do every day. Like, how do I get across the next hurdle? So these guys, sometimes their motive is either to make money or to cause some trouble. But most importantly, they understand one particular human psychology that they cash in on: panic.
Panic.
They create panic sometimes, or the urgency to have something. Or sometimes we human beings want something for free.
Okay, no.
So they work on it and they drill down.
Yes, I know that. But the thing is that these guys have done this thing on high level. Of course, they would have started by these regular text messages all these small, I don't know how they do this, but they would have started from some small, then suddenly they grow to do this. So really, I mean, they must have a network, I believe, of
Yeah.
Yes.
So really, how does it work?
There used to be, they have syndicates.
Syndicates.
Yes, they have a network of criminals. They have people working in the banks and some other institutions that facilitate this kind of criminal act. And you see, for you to be successful in this kind of profession, this criminal profession, you must have a know-how of at least some basic technical know-how, and as well as being proficient in some kind of psychological manipulation of your victims.
Where does it take training?
Yeah, sometimes they even have academies.
Oh.
So they have academies.
That is,
yes.
That's really something else.
Yes.
And I think we are also in a society where somehow we celebrate these people. They are like, he has a verified Twitter and social media account, Hush Push Me, for instance. And sometimes parents see these people successful. Sometimes they even know that these guys are actually into this. But lack of jobs, maybe parents will tell you, but what can we need to make money. My son, look at your friend is doing this. Good luck trying to learn this. I think those are parts of the influences. Anyhow, since you guys are professionals, we'll be going a little more into having you tell us how we can stay safe. But we actually went on the streets and we actually tried to do a little feature and we asked some Nigerians we met on the street and asked them if they've actually, most everybody have actually have actually received a message to that effect, if they've actually been scammed before, and if they know how to enter into secured websites. And actually this is what we found out.
The arrest of high-profile internet fraudsters by the EFCC, FBI, and Interpol have left many worried and wondering how safe are our activities online. The Medley show crew went on the streets to find out how many Nigerians have experienced financial scammers and if their acts went through.
I applied for a job. Someone got my information, not knowing how he did. Called me and told me to pay for screening, form, and some other training. Then he asked me to go to the headquarters. He sent me an ID number, a badge number, that I should go to the headquarters with it. After paying him 75,000, and when I got there, they told me I don't have to pay anything in their office. Everything is done there is free.
I had a phone call. Somebody claimed to be my in-law, and I sent gifts from US. I should call a certain person that I retrieved the gifts from him. So when I called the person, I should forward him a sum of 2,000 naira credit worth that he will be able to facilitate the movement of the gifts to reach me. So it didn't sound real to me.
So they tried several attempts by calling my name, about my account number. I only tell them that which bank. Once they mention the bank, I will tell them that I don't have business with that bank. That is all. They will just switch off the phone or they will laugh.
They only tried to scam me by calling me to tell me that, yeah, do you bank with this bank? Yeah, I was like, yes, initially. But when the guy started asking questions, I knew that he was going to scam me. So I told him that, Oga, you for check my profile before you scam me. Oh. Now how the matter take happen with that.
They called me. They say they are from COVID-19 tax force. They are giving out 30,000 naira for each individual. So I should give them my account number. After I call the account number, then they now call the serial number fully. I thought it was legit. So they said I should give them my BVN and my PIN or my date of birth. I said no, I don't have a PIN. They said no, I should not worry. They have access to my account now. They can do anything they want to do with my account now. Before I know, I receive a lot. Yeah, I was having 5,000 in the account. So they debit me.
Many of the operations of fraudsters happen over unsecured internet sites. Once these sites are entered into by the potential victim or unsuspecting user, the rest is history. How many Nigerians know how to identify an unsecured website?
It's really hard to know.
Not really.
Once you log in, like you log in www.google.com, you have to see that there's a padlock before the www.google.com to know that the site is secured. But if the site is not secured, you will see a danger sign showing that the site is not secured.
It is clear that many Nigerians are unfamiliar with the two variations of domain names. HTTPS, which stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secured, meaning it is a secured site to browse, while the HTTP without an S means this is unsecured and may most likely be a fraudulent site. On the Medley show today, we will attempt to inform and educate millions of viewers who every day surf the net on how to stay safe on the online community.
Know that our enemies have no face. They are indigents of no state. They come from no place. And if this boat capsizes, every one of us will go under. So when the drums sound, let everybody answer. Do not say, I am the Iroko when the forest is burning. Do not say, I am the Obeche when the forest is burning. Our differences will not stop us from perishing together. So when the drums sound, let everybody answer.
Just before that break, we saw chats with those on the street, and almost everybody has actually had, one or two contact with these people telling you, I'm from your bank, please send these details, or they send you some kind of link on your email, and, anyhow, and also, we also asked many people if they actually know what what website is secured and not secured. Many people don't know. Sometimes you just go online and you just click on anything and you are there, and somehow you don't know if someone is actually spying on you or if actually you are being hacked. But just before, let's first of all ask, what exactly is cyber crimes? Murtala, you want to tell us?
Okay. Cybercrime is simply any crime perpetrated using the computer or network of computers. Cybercrime can also be defined, can also be called a crime carried out in the cyberspace.
Okay, yes. Big grammar. Innocence, can you speak it in normal English?
Okay, well, let's try, because what it is what it is. But what it means that when you perform fraudulent activities using the computer, or either by using the computer as a tool or by breaking into a computer, when you mention cyberspace, you're talking about that virtual community where everybody is going now, that is using the computer to communicate. People are living in the cyberspace. The cyberspace is nothing but that virtual land where people go, like when you go to your Facebook.
Okay, when they locked us in when the world was on lockdown, we all
have to live there. Yes. So that's the cyberspace. It's more like traveling to the moon in a way, virtually. Okay. So that's actually what it is. When anything illegal happens there, either deliberate, sometimes it might not be deliberate, but it's fraud, yeah. It's like you They say ignorance of the law is not an excuse, right?
Okay.
So sometimes you can actually commit a crime without knowing that you've committed a crime.
Okay.
On the cyberspace. So whatever you do there that is illegal, it's more like the crime.
Okay, you want to add anything to that?
Yes. Yeah. Let me say, cybercrime itself can be categorized into three.
Oh, okay.
One is cybercrime against persons.
Okay.
And the other one is cybercrime against property, as well as cybercrime against government. Yeah. So when we talk about cybercrime against person, we're talking about, let's say, someone stalking you online.
Okay.
You understand? Someone trying to defraud you directly.
Yes.
You understand? Someone trying to libel you or try to, let's say, how do I say, frame you online.
Okay.
That's a crime. That's crime on persons.
That's crime.
But crime against property is like attacking a web server of a company.
Wow. Okay.
Belonging to a company, or attacking a website belonging to a company by carrying out DDoS attack. We call them a DDoS attack.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And deprive customers from accessing the bank. So it's an attack on that bank's property or that company's property.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Well, we're going to talk a little more about that. Maybe we'll focus first on crime against persons.
Yes.
Okay. We'll take crime against persons. But before we go to take that, if we watch the feature, we asked people if they know what website is safe for them to enter. And trust me, many people don't know. So, as a novice, what do I look for? What do I look for to be sure I'm safe when I'm typing my www, when I go to any website? How do I know it's safe? And just before that, quickly, our phone numbers on the screen. Do you have any questions you want to ask our security experts on how to stay safe online? Or have you been scammed before? You want to share your story with us as briefly as possible? Please do call us or send us WhatsApp on the phone number. Send us text message, please don't call, or WhatsApp on the phone number on the screen. So, how do I know what is safe for a safe website to enter?
Okay. The first thing to do when you want to visit a website is to make sure that this website is secured. And how do you know that this website is secured? Good. So there's what we call the URL.
Okay.
Yes. On the address bar, you will see a padlock.
Okay.
And you see HTTPS.
Okay.
You understand? So that HTTPS indicates that the website is encrypted. Any action you perform on the website is encrypted. I mean, it's secure.
It's secure.
Yes, it's tunneled through a secure channel where nobody can intercept it.
Okay.
Yes, and get access to your information.
Do you have any sample of that in your system for now?
Maybe when I will get to that when I start explaining about social engineering attacks.
Social engineering attacks.
Yes.
Social engineering attacks, that's like the one...
okay, yeah. Social engineering attack actually is a broad spectrum of attacks because it encompasses phishing attack, spear phishing attack. Apart from that, there's also pretexting, there's tailgating. All these are forms of social engineering attacks. They tend to work on your psychology. You know, the hackers attack you psychologically and try to manipulate you into divulging sensitive information.
Phishing, innocent phishing.
Yes.
I don't know.
So phishing.
Let me, you want to take us through exactly what phishing is?
Yeah, I think I want to take it to a little bit of a better understanding of social engineering.
Okay.
Like they say, social engineering is not like hacking the human being. Instead of hacking the computer, you're hacking the human being. Okay. Now, what are you looking for? You're finding a way to make somebody divulge an information that is personal, that is private. For instance, somebody is stylishly asking you for your password without asking direct. Maybe help me, let me use your system. So that leads to, like he mentioned, different types of social engineering. The essence of social engineering is to get an information from an individual that you might not necessarily divulge voluntarily. Okay, so now talking about phishing is more like one part of social engineering that applies email for you to get someone to do something, and the end point will be to give out an information. For instance, a login detail. Okay, so phishing happens when someone sends you a mail.
Okay.
Okay, and he expects you to either click on something,
Okay.
or respond by
Okay.
doing something. Give me an information. For instance, you get a mail that says, oh, your bank account is going to be blocked. Please click on this to update your details.
Do you have some of those samples?
Yeah, we have a lot.
Yeah, I have a lot of them.
I've seen that. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it happens a lot. So some people don't know, some people that don't know will just click, go there, update. Now, but I just want to mention one thing. If you get such a mail, before you click, make sure that you are looking at the email address that was sent to you. Sometimes it's some of the simple things you can check first. You look at it, for instance, in our own client, you say, okay, you see a mail from Zenith Bank, right? And they're asking you to click on a link. But what happens is that it is not Zenith Bank that sent the mail. Now, you try and look at the email address that sent it. You find out that email address is not coming from Zenith Bank.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know. I guess that's where you want to take us.
So, okay, I don't if you can switch us to the VGA.
Yeah, no, it's okay. We are seeing, just right. We are watching.
Okay, so as you can see here, this is a diagram here showing you how a phishing attack is carried out. And the aim of this phishing attack is to either steal your credit numbers, bank account information, and other very critical information. So here the attacker designed an email and send it to the victim.
Okay.
You can see. So when the victim receives the email, he clicks on the link, a hyperlink created within the email.
Yeah, I'm
So by clicking that link, automatically he will be redirected to a fake website. And this fake website will have a form to fill where some sensitive information will be requested, like your password to the actual website, which is the original website, and maybe your credit card details. But in most cases, all they need is to authenticate the authentication to the original website. So when you click this site and you key in your credentials or your username and password, the hacker now collects this information.
Okay.
And you can see the hacker will now move to the legitimate site, because the initial site where you input your credentials is actually not the original site. You were just tricked using phishing attack to impute your credentials. Then these credentials that you typed in that form will be deposited inside in that person's own computer, the hacker. That is the malicious hacker now. Then he will now use this same credential and go to the original website and log into your account.
Okay, so they will have a clone website?
Good. They will clone the website, create an email that will look like it's directly from the bank. Okay. You understand? They will front as if they are a representative of the bank. Then they will create a link within the email. So as soon as you click this link will take you to that fake website, and from that fake website, you will be presented a form to fill, repeat your login credentials. So as soon as you log in, you type your login credentials and click submit. This credential will be submitted.
As a very layman,
yes,
I see Zenith or whatever banker sent me an email.
Good.
And they said, okay, click on this site because your account has a problem. So I just go click. How do I know it's fake? Because I see my bank.
Very good. Now, there are ways to really identify these emails that are fraudulent emails from scammers. First thing is you look at the address, the email address, the sender's email address. You see that if you position your mouse on it or you expand the column where the address is, you discover that the email address, the domain name there is not for the bank. Like I have an email here, an example here from Bank of America, but the domain is at Comcast.net.
Okay.
If it's from the bank, it's supposed to be, let's say it's from GTB, it was supposed to be at gtb.net.
Okay.
Correct? So then another thing is you check the address bar again, you see what we call, here they write undisclosed recipient. Here now.
Okay.
The person you're sending it to. And another thing, another critical red flag there is the address, how they address the recipient of the mail. You will discover that the name there will not be the actual name of the person. Rather, you see like dear member.
Oh, okay.
Instead of dear Murtala, you see dear member, right? And you can see that there, the way they address the email. Yes. So the salutation there.
Okay, you know what, guys? There are so many messages already coming in. How can I block a particular site or link that keep popping up on my browser while I'm surfing? This one says, I've been scammed before of 300,000 naira. This one plays money. I want to know how I can secure my website, which no one can attack at all. Then there are so many. Okay, can we? Okay. How can I do this?
The first question says, what was it again? The first one you read?
Yeah, the first, is it the one, how can I block a particular site that keeps popping up?
Popping up, okay. I think that's one of those things I'm happy about this, awareness.
Yeah.
Most browsers at this time have what we call pop-up blocker.
Pop-up blocker?
Yes.
Okay.
That's one of the first things you could do to block pop-ups. You know, pop-ups are those things that just keep jumping at your screen when you're browsing.
Yes, when you're browsing.
So the first thing you need to do is to, depending on the browser you're using, yes. I don't know, it could have been good to demonstrate, but I believe because a lot of people can go online. If you really want to know, just search how can I block pop-ups on your browser. You will see the settings. Each browser has a setting where you can go and initiate the blocking. And if you do so, it will reduce the number of pop-ups. That's first thing. But there's sometimes you go to some websites, there are annoying adverts come up. So that one is different. Okay, so you can also find a way of trying to make sure that you limit the kind of websites you visit, especially when you're using your personal devices, when you're using your personal computer. Because sometimes there are some promos you see, they say, click to win so. And you click on it. Okay?
Well, when you never played any
it's just a bet for you to get to their site, and then they'll be leading you with some juicy information. And you keep going. As you're doing that, your computer is getting somehow attacked because they are installing some things behind the scenes. Malwares. Wow. So that will be causing more pop-ups.
Okay, let's take this very quickly because there are questions keep popping up. Now, when I get to see this email pop up on my screen and I click on it, that doesn't mean I've been hacked yet until I fill the form or I go through the process?
Well, it depends on what kind of attack the person is bringing. There's another attack that has to do with malware. Malware is just like you click on something, you're led to click, and that click leads the hacker to install a software on your computer. And that software is where he has access to the data on your computer. For instance, your device, if you use it for financial transactions, they can sniff your password through the malware.
Okay, now, there are questions some persons have asked me to ask. Now, someone is asking a question to, there are these times when in your office they bring forms for you to fill.
Yeah.
And when you get to fill this form, they ask even for your BVN detail and some very sensitive information. Right. And they want to take it, you think it's official, so you get to fill it. How safe is that to give that out? That's number one. Number two, we expect another question. We expect that bank websites should be highly secured. But somehow we still hear on various occasions, though, that these bank sites are hacked and transactions are diverted.
Yes. You see, when it comes to organizational security, one of the biggest threats organizations face is insider threats. Banks, most of the time, financial institutions, most of the time, the challenges they face are from the inside. A trusted staff will somehow give out some information that are not maybe access to hackers. That's why I told you that these criminals are syndicates.
Yeah.
They have syndicates.
Okay.
Yes, they have syndicates. So they work in collaboration with people in financial institutions to help them close their traces. So sometimes most of the problems we have when it comes to issues of banks is insider threat. Well, there's also mistakes that you make. Maybe a hacker socially engineered you into giving him your internet banking login credentials and other things. But most of the time, the attacks, the problems we have when it comes to banks is insider threat.
All right, you may want to show us any other practical for whatever you have, but the first question on the BVM and filling it in your official documents and submitting it, how safe is it?
Well, if you're asking how safe, it might be like asking... Well, yes, it's proper for you to fill official forms, but one thing is this, you find out that it's not just your BVN. These days, you fill forms online.
Yes.
So our lives are online. So when you say how safe, there is no 100% safety online. That's the first thing.
No, okay, now, should I, if a form comes maybe from the head of service and say we need to, they want to upgrade our account, and they ask me to fill my account number, my BVN, I mean, can't I say no?
So long as that form is not asking you to fill in your secret code.
I thought the BVN, giving out the BVN.
Your BVN is not a secret code. It's not that a secret code yet. You see, if it is so, because your BVN is on all of your accounts,
okay.
Right?
Yes.
Sometimes you get to the bank, they say, write down your BVN. You're writing and giving to a human being. So if it is that easy, but what happens is that when someone gets your BVN, they find a way to know how many accounts you have. Okay. They now begin to work on you to divulge your secret codes through those accounts. I had an experience, when you asked whether I've been hacked, I had an experience, somebody calling me and said, I'm calling from your bank. I said, which of the banks? I have a lot of accounts in different banks. He said, don't you know your bank? Right? That's a psychologist's question. Okay. I said, well, I have this, I just mentioned banks. He said, yes, First Bank. It's okay.
Just picked anyone.
I said, what do you want? So he just said what he wants. I said, okay, no problem. If I'm in need of that service, I'll get to the bank myself. I was just trying to drag him along because I knew what he wanted. Yeah. So, but a lot of people, this happens. So, someone knowing your BVN is not enough. Okay. It's not enough to intrude into your account. Now, for someone to do that, like Moritala said, there is an insider information. Okay. Not just the person knowing your BVN from the fly. There is someone inside who is giving out more information. Your date of birth, maybe secret questions you filled when you're trying to open your account or something. Your secret questions and the answers and all that. So if the person gets access to that, they will now combine with what they have, which is your BVN or whatever, and then they can scam you. Okay, so when you're asking whether should you fill that form, well, we fill forms every day. Every day. So what happens is that you just have to be cautious. Where is that information going? Okay, yeah. So you want to show us, do you have any practical you want to take us through, you want to contribute?
Yeah, still in respect to the bank, yeah, like what Mr. Innocent spoke about, he talked about someone calling you. That's what we call phishing attack. Someone calling you, telling you that threatening you that if you don't contact the bank or provide some certain information, your bank account will be blocked. Okay. And the rest. Well, this is the email version of it. Okay. Here we have here from someone here pretending to be from Bank of America, trying to now hack into this person's account and creating a link which does not even link to the actual bank. You can see here, there's a hyperlink there. Here. Okay. Look at this is a hyperlink. When you position your cursor, when you get this kind of mails, position your cursor on the link. You discover that the link does not actually connect to the actual URL of the bank. So it is very important that when you see things like this, don't just follow the emails. Just like he rightly said, go to the website, go to the internet and type the website or try to contact your bank via maybe phone call or so. All right,
we have someone actually joining us from Lagos via Zoom. Wale at Daytona is also called iSlimFits on social media. Wale, can you hear me?
Hi, Cecil. Yeah, I can hear you. Good afternoon.
Okay, Wale can hear me, but I'm not hearing Wale. My technical guys will take care of that just now. All right. Can I hear Wale? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, perfect. All right. So, Wale, I have, I don't know if you've been following us. I have two cybersecurity experts. They've been trying to tell us how to stay safe online. So, Wale, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Cecil. Kudos to the gentleman in the studio. I think I've been following the conversation for about 5 minutes thereabouts, and I'm happy with the fact that they've been able to touch on the fundamentals of cybersecurity. I reckon they've also discussed the modality that these criminals use in perpetrating the crimes. However, I think from our point of view, I would like to personally share an experience, like to give a context to the program. There was a day I was trying to sell something on one of the popular e-commerce sites. And so this is my own experience of, cybersecurity, cybercrime now. So I was trying to sell a car actually, and I got a call about 2 days later, someone calling me to say, so we noticed your advert. However, do you know that you can get a buyer as soon as possible? So let us help you boost your advert. And I said, oh, that's fine then. At no cost. That we wouldn't want such offer. So he said he was going to do something from my dashboard.
Okay.
And send me a link, a code to activate my text message, which is the code starts from G, and then about five numbers.
Okay.
And he asked me to share it. Unknowingly to me, what he did from his own end was to do a password reset. He has my email. My email is displayed there publicly.
Wow.
So he went to log in, tried to log in my email, and he did a password reset. So if I had called that code out to him, he would have just entered, he would have gained access to my email. Get all this information he needed to get, and unknowingly to me, I would have been a victim of scam. So I was able to detect, and I told him that, okay, just get out of my way. I know what you're doing. So what I'm doing, in essence, is people need to also pay some sort of attention to security issues online. Nobody should, for whatever reason, request you for a code online to be sent to your phone or email. Those are the kind of primary things you need to know.
Hi, Slim Fit. I have this. I want to ask you something, especially as it has to do with Hush Puppy, for instance. You know that Hush Puppy has fans, followers even more than you? So many celebrities got to celebrate. I'm serious. You are supposed to be the influencer, but somehow he even has a verified Twitter handle. So, how does this even happen? How does one even get verified?
Well, then again, that speaks to the credibility and the kind of background information the platform owners. So I'm speaking to Instagram and Twitter too now. I know there's been instances where people have clamored for removal of some verification of some unscrupulous elements on social media. I know there was a time the US were fighting Twitter that I think they mistakenly verified what's it called now, a suicide bomber, and that was a very big issue for Twitter then. So I think they, on their own part, they need to pay attention and do enough background checks to be sure they are not verifying the wrong people. And the same thing applies to Instagram. Oshopi is verified with huge followers on Instagram, and these are people that constantly look up to him whatever he posts, and they deem it fit to hail him in the comment section and all of that. So there's plenty of work to be done on the platform owners too.
All right, thank you very much, Wale. So back to the guys in the studio. I have some questions here. Don't go yet because we're still with you. Let me ask some questions, and if you want to chip in, please do well to tell me. How can you protect your Facebook or bank account from hackers, says Martin Chiamaka. During the lockdown, my friend was called by somebody unknown, and he called his account number to them. Last month, he has collected a loan, and now he has received a debit alert. Now the man is very sick. Good afternoon. My name is Bella from Adamawa. I'm watching you live. Please, I want to know the difference between HTTP and HTTPS. we've actually, Bella, we've actually answered that. The one with the S is actually secured. So when you go on and you see the S secured with a padlock, that's good. If it's without the S, then it's not secure. You better be careful. I am Engineer Imad Okune from Benin City. There are so many fake and impersonating websites on the internet. How do I know some of these fake websites? Can we get to take this as quickly as possible so we can take more questions?
Okay, let me take it from the last person. How do you know fake websites? I think most I talked about knowing a site that is safe. Now, when you say a site is safe, it's just that search engines like Google says this is safe. And because that site, by virtue of its hosting, someone has made sure that it has a security behind it. But whether it's fake, a site can be safe and still be fake.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, because I launch a website I want to use for maybe fraud. I make sure that I posture it as an original site, and I fortify it. So to you, coming to my site is safe. But one thing you need to know, you need to be sure the site you're going, is it the original site? Now, how do you know? For instance, your bank site. Let's take, for instance, we have our own popular banks. You're going to GTB sites.
Yeah.
What is the website address of GTB? That's the first thing you look out for. Okay. Now, if you're not sure that you're safe, don't do that online transaction. If you're not sure, don't do it. It's more important for you to delay that movement than to. That's why they say in cybersecurity, they say you first look before you click.
Look before you click. You want to add something quickly?
Well, my advice is you just have to be sure that when you're typing in a URL, make sure the spelling is correct, because sometimes these hackers try to duplicate the site and just add maybe, if it's gtb.com, they will spell it gtbb.com. And if you mistakenly type gtbb.com and it takes you to a replicate site and you end up giving out your credentials and boom, you're in for it.
Hi, Slim Fit. Now I want to ask you, what are you with your own platform? How have you been able to use as an influencer? This has been trending. People are having bad names because of guys like this. As an influencer, how much have you been able to use with your platform to help correct and educate people?
Thanks for that interesting question. Actually, this goes beyond the influencers, the media in general. I've been very good on Twitter. Yeah, country is negative.
Okay.
However, there's commendable Nigerians in and outside the country that are doing tremendously well for themselves. The media needs to play a role to sort of talk more about the good sides of the country, right? The negative news sell tremendously. It's good for the clicks, is good for the website visit and all of that. However, let's rebalance the narrative. I mean, that's my own take.
All right, so we'll try to change the narrative. I'll still come back to you quickly. I'm so sorry that the network signal is not very strong, but very soon the Ministry of Communication, and they've told us that very soon we will have very good internet in Nigeria. So let's actually be hopeful. Guys, let's talk about cookies. You know, sometimes when you're just on the website, then something just before you get to actually read the content you want to read on the website, actual secured website, they ask you have to okay cookies. And I keep wondering, what are all these cookies about? And if you don't okay the cookies, you don't get to watch it. So what are cookies? Are they safe for me to actually click on?
Well, cookies, you can't click on cookies.
I mean, you okay cookies?
You accept that cookies you accept them because the website pushed them to you and you accept them to be in your browser. They reside in your browser and keep record of your activities. You get it? When you visit a page, they keep record of what you do. You use it. You also use it to your passwords are also stored, because by the time you clear your cookies, you discover that you have to log in to decide if you have saved your password.
Okay, so the cookies, once upon a time, apples were fruits, but now they are laptops and phones. Cookies now used to be eaten, but here cookies now are some kind of marketing.
So a lot of this, they use them. These websites now track your activities, and now in some cases sell let's say you go to an e-commerce site. By the way you browse from there, they will use those cookies to advertise directly, specifically to you, based on your interests.
Based on your interests.
So what these cookies do is that they track your digital footprint.
So when I accept those cookies, they can track me.
Of course, the cookies actually track your digital footprint.
Oops. Oh, okay. That's a little. Now, I'll go to something very soon. But so let me come to you. With this whole lockdown whole thing, everybody live on their mobile phones. Now, children have their own phone. Children have their tab. They do their studies there. Now, the children have access to this internet. They can do almost anything. So how can we keep our children safe so that they don't actually click on some, sites that they're not supposed to?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. I think that's the basic thing a lot of us need to start doing, especially parents. Someone called it digital parenting. We need to start being digital parents. And digital parents starts with awareness, like we're doing. How do we get children to be safe? The first thing is by educating your children. But before you educate your child, you need to also know. So it's the first step for parents or guidance is to first of all know what is not safe online. That's the first. Then the second thing is now educate the children. Then the third one, there are tools online you could use to actually guide your kids. For instance, you give them devices. You can actually monitor their activities from your own device. With some apps. So you can actually get to monitor these things. Because many times, sometimes, if your children actually have your account details, when they are there, some hackers can get to access you through your children, and who knows, if they have your account detail, they enter it and voila, your account is empty. We are going to be ending this so very soon, and the guys are still with me in the studio, and also Iceland Faith is in Lagos with us. But you know what? We actually went on the streets on our segment called Viewpoint. We wanted to find out which of the social media platforms were popular amongst Nigerians and why they use this. And this is what we found out.
Platform, I'm on Facebook or my WhatsApp. Well, for WhatsApp, it's easier to send and receive messages. And you can track whether your message has been delivered or read, and you can easily chat with it, unlike the normal SMS this thing. But for Facebook is mostly for updates, like newsfeed, what is happening around the world, and all of those things. Also, look for people, meet people, and basically those are the purpose.
Facebook, because Facebook is fun. I get to meet friends, family, get to communicate and meet people, new people.
On Facebook and Twitter, precisely. Okay, I think Facebook is the regular social media everyone gets into. Then why Twitter? I got into it because of some business purpose though.
That should be WhatsApp. Because I feel it's a bit more private than some other social media apps or whatever.
I use a lot, like YouTube, WhatsApp, Facebook, and all that. I use it just to greet my friends and family and all that. Just get sort of like, or sometimes I use YouTube to download movies or music or all that. Like WhatsApp, callers come to WhatsApp. Like I use it to chat with my friends, family.
Instagram, Twitter, WhatsApp, Snapchat, because they connect people.
I love Facebook because of my friends, family are all there. I love it with passion.
WhatsApp and Facebook with Instagram, because I love Instagrams. Maybe if I make hair, I will post it so that people will see it and like it, follow my page and others.
Wow, so many people have told us they love this program. We are glad we are actually informing you and educating you how to stay safe. I've seen many of your messages, and Iceland Fit, if you can do this in 30 seconds, tell us, as a social media influencer, which of these social media platforms would you say have been most popular and active during the lockdown?
That is a very easy pick. That's Twitter.
Twitter. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Twitter has overtaken Facebook. Okay. There is a network problem. There's a network problem. Iceland Fit, can you hear me? Iceland Fit, can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. During the lockdown, you said Twitter is the most active. And by the way, congratulations is not out of place. You got married during the lockdown, right?
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Okay, all right, guys in the studio and everybody, let's watch how the wedding and the preparation of how the lockdown wedding was of Iceland Fit.
Love is patient, love is kind, love is not envious or boastful.
You have made me the happiest man in the world today. I am going to spend the rest of your life with me. I promise to cherish, respect, and love you till eternity.
Adewale, you are kind, caring, loving, and today I take my place as your wife. May our days be long and the day be seasoned with faith, love, understanding, and respect. Today is the beginning of the rest of our lives. I choose to spend today and all of my tomorrows.
I promise to comfort and encourage you. I promise to love you till death do us apart. Yours in love, Adewale Adetona.
I surrender myself to you. It's sacrifice. And I will not see. I never seen anybody like you. In the name of the Father, like you do. Girl, it's true that I will love you. Nobody like you.
Okay, now Iceland Fit, what do you have to say about that very briefly and quickly?
All right, thank you very much.
You didn't see that coming, right?
Yeah, I didn't see that coming.
Wow.
I didn't see that coming. Thanks so much for that.
It's okay, we just want to celebrate you.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thank you very much.
Okay, guys, I really would have taken a sentence or two from you, but be sure I'm going to bring you back on because we still have so much. I have almost 120 questions here I have not taken, so we still need to try to do justice to them. For all of you who actually sent in questions, we appreciate you. We want to say thank you very much. And we're going to do this again, and we're still going to continue talking how to stay safe online. So keep your questions coming. You have the numbers already. Yes, I've thanked my guests. Thank you very much, guys, for coming around. Maritala, Innocent, they're all cybersecurity experts. You can actually follow them on their social media, and you'll learn even more. We will play a music off the streets now, and it's a music that I know you'll enjoy. So enjoy it off the streets.
I want to say no to corruption. I want to say no to addiction. I want to say no to discrimination. I want to say no to violation. 'Cause I'm a dignified Nigerian. I'm a dignified Nigerian. I'm a dignified Nigerian. That's who I am. I'm a dignified Nigerian. I'm a dignified Nigerian. I'm a dignified Nigerian. That's who I am. I do the right things every time I can. It may not be easy, but this is who I am. And if everyone could take a stand to do the right things, everything will fall in place and places. You can, we can. And everything we do today becomes a legacy tomorrow. It could teach our children the right way to follow. We can have a better Nigeria. I wanna say no to corruption. I wanna say no to addiction. I wanna say no to discrimination.